Today we're going to make yeast rolls from a recipe that's passed on in my family, developed by my cousin Leslie. These are Leslie's rolls, and they're absolutely delicious. Welcome back to Gary's Urban Larder. My name is Gary Rice. I'm a home cook with more than 50 years of experience. And today I have a really special recipe for you. Leslie's rolls. This is a must-have family recipe that makes beautiful, soft, sweet, delicious yeast rolls. My family wants them for every festive occasion, every holiday gathering, and my cousin was kind enough to share her recipe with me. So let's get started and I'll go through the ingredients. In the stand mixer, I have 4 cups of flour, to which we're going to add sugar, salt, and quick-acting dry yeast. Once we have the dry ingredients mixed together, we will take our butter and our whole milk and we'll warm that to a temperature of between 120 degrees, 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And don't worry about the exact measurements. All of that is in the link in my description box, which takes you to the full recipe that has all of the measurements, both in imperial and metric measures and full instructions. Okay, now let's start. I've got some extra flour here for dusting when we need it. We're going to start off with the stand mixer. I'm adding the yeast, the salt, and the sugar. Now, I'm just going to use the paddle blade to combine, and I'm just going to do that gently. So it's just a quick stir to make sure all of those ingredients are well distributed within the flour. All right, next, I'm going to add our butter to the milk, and I'm just going to actually use the microwave, pop that in and warm that up. So in just a second, I'll be right back. All right, I've melted our butter and milk in the microwave. Did it on high for 2 minutes and then half for another minute. And at the moment, need to check that the temperature of this is between 120 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's reading at 153. So that needs to cool before we can add it to our dry ingredients. So in the interim, I will just beat together my eggs, which is the other liquid. I'm just using a fork, and they don't need to be well combined. I just want to mix them slightly. I think what I will do is actually add them to the milk and butter mixture, which that should bring down the temperature. Give that a stir. Now let's check. That is measuring a high of 128. So perfect. Now I'm going to add that to our bowl with the stand mixer. Before we do, I'm going to change the blade to the hook. We'll lift that up and lock it. Actually, we'll add this now, all of it at once, to the bowl. We'll lift and lock that, and we will start that on a very low setting, first setting. And as that starts to come together, we may need to scrape it once or twice, make sure everything's combined. And then we'll beat it at a medium setting, medium to medium low setting, for about 5 to 6 minutes so that gluten can develop. So that has a bit to go. It is a very soft dough. And once it is combined, we're going to let that rest in the bowl covered for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to let this work, and then we'll come right back. And I'm going to clean this stuff up in the intro. So I just scraped down the sides of the bowl, make sure all that flour from the bottom is becoming incorporated. So now I can increase the speed. And I'm just going to let that work for 5 to 6 minutes as it combines all of that flour and develops the gluten. Join me in a second. So the dough hook is continuing to do its job, and it's coming together. You can see the stretch that's coming into that dough. And just before we stop it to rest, I will show you what I'm talking about in terms of the stretch that you're looking for in your dough. I want you to have a look inside and see what's happening. So I'm just going to show you. As this is developing, you can see how it's pulling away from the side. I think we're nearly there. Let's take a look. It is a wet dough. I think it needs a couple of more minutes. So I'm just going to scrape that down. Yeah, there's a little flour in the bottom. So I'll scrape that down, put it back on the stand mixer, and give it another 2 minutes. Okay, I've given this a couple more minutes to knead on the hook, and I think we're ready. So just remove the dough hook. Yeah, that's got a good stretch on it. So just scrape that down. Again, this is a very soft dough. And just going to give this whole thing a scrape around. Make sure any unincorporated flour is caught. It's looking very good. And I used a strong white bread flour for this. Now you could use all-purpose as well. And look, that's got a wonderful elasticity. So, just what we want. Now I'm taking a tea towel and I'm just going to cover that and we'll let it rest for 10 minutes and then we'll be right back. Okay, we've rested our dough for about 10 minutes And now I'm just going to lightly flour this surface to turn out part of our dough. I'm also flouring my hands, and I have a rolling pin. And I also have prepared a tray, a baking tray that I've lined with parchment paper, and I have a cutter, which I'm going to use to cut out our rolls. So I'm just going to work with part at a time because it's easier and I have a very small surface within which to work. So I'm going to dust that as well. Again, my hands, it's very warm, it's very pliable. I do like to give it a bit of a turn on the surface before rolling it out. And make sure you have plenty of flour available because it is a wet dough. If it sticks like it's doing now, just rub down your pan, add a bit more flour. We don't want that terribly thin, but it is going to rise. We don't want to work too much additional flour into it because it will make it tough. So I'm just going to cut out some of our dough, and then show you it's very thin, very light. We're just going to fold it over, put it in the pan. So I'll take the next one, just going to fold it over like a pocket, put it in the pan so that they're touching. Take the next one, didn't have the surface floured enough there, it'll be okay. So we'll just make up another one, fold it over, put it in our prepared tray. So I'm just going to keep doing this until our tray is filled. And then we're going to cover it, keep from the draft for 1 to 2 hours until these have doubled in size. So I'm going to get on and finish that. Enjoy me when I have the tray filled. I've rolled out first batch and I've got them in my tray, and I've got about 40 in there, so three and a half dozen, 40, 42. And I'm just going to cover those with a damp kitchen towel and let them rise for about an hour to 2 hours until they've doubled in bulk. And then we'll come back and we'll get them ready for the oven. It's a good idea to preheat that oven to 350, 375. Again, all of the instructions will be in the link in the description box, both in imperial and metric, Fahrenheit and Celsius. Join me in just a second. While those are doubling, I thought I'd show you another option for how you might want to form the dough. So, a nice, soft, stretchy dough, some more flour, and this time, all I'm going to do is pinch off some dough and roll it into a ball. And I'm going to do that 3 times. Keep my hands floured, definitely. And I'm just going to drop those in to a buttered muffin tin. So again, this is a very wet dough. Oops. And I'll carry on and fill those. and we'll let those double in size as well. You want to be careful not to work this too much. Again, you'll have a very tough bread rather than something light and delicious. So now my hands are a mess. I'm going to finish this and I'll show you how it looks. So just show you my technique in doing these little balls. Again, I don't want to overhandle it. So I have my bench scraper as well, a little flour, and I'm just going to cut the dough into little strips, about equal size, roll them, pop them into the buttered muffin tin, and then we'll cover and let those rise. See, it's very easy, very quick, and it looks like I'll have enough to fill all my trays. There those are, filled. So, and I'll cover these and let them rise for 1 to 2 hours till they double in bulk. And then they'll go into my hot oven. All right, we are back and our bread has proved and doubled in size. And what we're going to do, I have some melted butter and I'm just going to pour that over our bread. I'll do the same with the ones in the muffin tin. And these will go into our oven, which is set at 350, about 180, 175 Celsius, and for 20 minutes. And then they'll come out. Those have proved really nicely. I'm very happy. So join me after they come out of the oven. Welcome back. Our rolls have come out of the oven, Leslie's rolls, and they look amazing and beautiful. And I'm now just pouring more melted butter over the top of it. And I'll do the same in our muffin tin. And this is something that adds richness, coarse flavor, bit of decadence, and makes them absolutely irresistible. Just bathe those. And there you have it. These are Leslie's rolls. Now the only thing we need to do is to give it a taste. Let's do that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I want you to look at that. It has a wonderful texture. Just beautiful texture. They're sweet, light, oh, so very good. I'm going to have to stop myself or I'll eat the entire tray. But thank you for joining me today on Gary's Urban Larder. If you like today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a member, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single recipe. And please do share with your friends. It helps my channel grow. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.